Hello, Capricorns. All right, Capricorns. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. The moon is in a waning gibbous moon at the time of filming your reading. Let's get a reading for the next 7 days. Let's see what's going on in your cards as we head towards the last quarter moon in your sign, right? The moon is currently in Scorpio. It's currently in Scorpio. That's right. Maybe watching this video on Tuesday. The 18th. Tuesday, March 18th. It's a waning gibbous moon. Waning gibbous moon really is a call for all of us to pause and reflect, and just become aware of just kind of how to get ready to close out the cycle that we're in, right? So we're still in eclipse season. All of my videos are timeless, but just for, just for knowledge purposes, because a lot of people like to learn about moon phases. You like to learn about these retrogrades. Right now, 2 planets are retrograde. Venus is retrograde. Venus actually rules Taurus and Libra. You all love to learn about the houses, so I try to be as detailed and as descriptive as possible when I talk about, teaching, for those of you all who love to learn. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Welcome back. Libra rules 7th house. 7th house is about marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and enemies. Taurus rules 2nd house. 2nd house is all about personal resources, money, habits, possessions, values, financial security, self-worth, and your income. And so, like I said, Venus is the goddess of love, pleasure, art, music, aesthetics. And so that's the light side of Venus, right? But the dark side of Venus is that it can be vain, vengeful, green with envy. So there goes the enemy part. So Source is saying don't be an enemy to yourself by when you realize that when you slow down, remember planets don't move backwards and they don't move at a slower pace, Capricorn, that when you slow down and recognize that energies have taken advantage of you, not when you didn't know your self-worth and didn't love yourself the way you love yourself now that you know your purpose, because you remember your sign rules 10th house. 10th house is all about career, life goals, achievement, public image, the masculine aspect of ourselves, social status, fame. There's too many layers to this. You could have geographically lived in a different different location. You could have had low self-esteem. You could have been in the wrong relationship at the time. You could have been depressed. It's just too many layers to it. And people take advantage of people, during those times. And so when you finally snap out of it and you realize, oh my God, people took advantage of my self-worth. They didn't pay me as much. People took advantage of you during that time. That's not the time for you to make impulsive actions. That can cause you to have a tower moment, right? That's Mars. That's the tower card, right? That's the time for you to go into prayer, warrior mode, and meditation mode, for you to slow down and recognize, now that I know my self-worth, I can pray about it and ask Source for clarity, right? Mercury is also retrograde. Mercury is the communication and messenger planet. Mercury actually rules Gemini and Virgo. We had a full blood moon in Virgo on the same day as the total lunar eclipse. Like I said, the only reason I'm slowing down is I'm teaching for those of you all who want to learn. Mercury rules Gemini. Gemini rules 3rd house. 3rd house is all about early education, intelligence, sibling interaction, logic, reason, communication skills, short trips, hobbies. And Virgo rules 6th house. 6th house is all about health, work habits, daily routines, fitness, pets, service to others, diet, spiritual practices. So let's get into it. Let's set the tone for your reading. Those are some things that you can do. The moon is currently in Scorpio. Scorpio rules 8th house. 8th house is the karmic number, right? So Source is saying you're trying to break karmic cycles. And so once you slow down during these planets being retrograde and you realize that you may have been in some karmic cycles within yourself. You don't want to repeat these same cycles now that we're in year 9. Remember, there's a lot of hidden messages. 2024 was the year of 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. That's the karmic year. But 8 is also the money exchange number. Money is your self-worth, right? Venus, right? Your self-worth, right? And so saying, now that you know your worth, and even if people took advantage of your worth, you don't want to repeat those same cycles. So slow down, no matter where you are in life right now, you slow down. Let's get into your reading, get some good news. It's time to flourish. There it is. It's time to flourish. Speak it out into existence. It's time to flourish. Time to flourish. So like I said, we're in a waning gibbous moon. This is time to pause and reflect. We have 2 planets that are retrograde. I believe the next planet that goes retrograde is Pluto, right? So it's time to reflect. Let's dive right into tarot. Let's dive right in, all right? Hopefully that was helping someone to kind of sort of learn, just like really slow down, slow your roll, slow down, drink your water. Scorpio, like I said, the moon is in Scorpio. And then after that, on Thursday, it goes into Sagittarius. So when the moon is in Scorpio, the overarching theme really is to make peace with your past mistakes, where you may have felt like you dated the wrong person, people took you for granted. That's not the time to sit in woe is me. That's the time to make peace with it. Maybe you had kids with somebody you may have felt like you were at just a difficult time in your life. You may have felt like generationally. Remember, Pluto is also ruled by the Judgment card, which is the outermost planet. It's a generational planet. So sometimes you come from a family where you just didn't feel like you were taught properly, and it could have been generationally you felt like you didn't know any better. So that's not the time to beat yourself up now that you know better. So it's just saying, hey, thanks source for it all, but move beyond that. Move beyond that and drink your water, flush it all out, listen to your water sounds. This is not the time to spiritually dehydrate yourself, in other words, by loading up on caffeine and anything that's going to dry you out. This is not the time to do it. This is the time to load up on foods with high water content, like watermelon. Y'all know what I'm saying, like stuff that is going to flush your system out. All right. Now is the time to stay focused. People are going to think that you're running away from conversations, but you're really not running away from conversations. Here's the Knight of Swords. This is a person who's trying to stay focused. Y'all remember, if you've been with me for quite some time, I said it was a loved one of your family that rode a motorcycle. It keeps coming back up. Somebody is trying to say, stay focused. They're really trying to tell you to stay focused. You're not running away from anything. You're really trying to stay focused. You need some fresh air, right? I see you being victorious, back in the center stage again. So this is where you are aiming higher. This is where you're aiming higher. So this lets me know that you're inspired, you're motivated. Remember, this is fire energy. So you're getting to year 9. We're in year 9 now. This is where somebody is right on target, right? You're not necessarily going by the Gregorian calendar, even though we are in the month of March. This is where somebody is right on target for their proper new year. A lot of people are getting ready to celebrate their new year. So remember, you had the first full moon in Cancer. It was a wolf moon. So you had to see, everybody had to see what pack people were running with. Remember, we had a wolf moon, right? You had to learn the spirit of what people were. They were hiding stuff from you. Were they lying to you? You had to come out of the karmic cycle. So that's why I always encourage people not to beat themselves up, not to harshly judge themselves. Remember, 8 is tied to also the Judgment card by the way of Scorpio. Scorpio is the death rebirth card. We're not talking about any Scorpios that you know, but Scorpio rules 8th house. 8th house is the house of renewal, sexuality, death, transformation, shared finances, inheritance, loans, occult, mystery, intimacy, right? Do not beat yourselves up. How in the world would you know who was running with whom? How would you know? How in the world would you know? For real. To sit around and go, woe is me, how could I be so stupid? That would literally be like beating yourself up worse than the world would beat you up. Write it down. Forgive yourself. Just forgive you. You forgiving everybody else, forgive you. Forgive you. Start forgiving yourself. And I see you being victorious. So this is fire energy. So Thursday, the moon moves into Sagittarius. Remember, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet. It's the planet of growth, opportunity, good luck, good fortune. Don't you want to be ready for some good news by Thursday? So why sit in a puddle of muddy, dark, deep, muddied water, just sitting there for those 2 days and just staying there in that? Why not get to a point of saying, you know what, I'm making peace with something. I forgive myself. I didn't know any better. Now I know better. I'm going to do better. There it is. It's time to flourish. I see you being successful. Back in the center stage. See this wreath right here? I'm inspiring myself to stay focused. I'm going to get up and I'm going to get out and I'm going to get some fresh air. I'm going to do the shadow work. See this cute little cat shadow? I am determined to do the shadow work. This could be a man or woman, by the way. I am going to do the shadow work myself. I'm not waiting for somebody else to inspire me. I'm going to get up and I'm going to inspire myself. And I'm going to be around other people who inspire and motivate me. I'm adding some structure and authority to my own life. I'm not doing it other people's way. I'm going to add structure and authority myself. So if I'm around people who feel like it's their way or the highway, no, it is not. I have control over my own mind. I can do it my way. Right? There it is. Here we have Queen of Swords. I'm sitting on my throne. Any negative thoughts that people may have said to me about other people, I have my own brains. I have my own experiences. I have my own mind. I can think for myself. So there it is. There it is. So that puts you in light emperor energy, and that's how a lot of your wishes are going to be fulfilled. That is how a lot of your wishes are going to be fulfilled. This puts you directly in leadership because you've always been a leader. And so remember, you all are cardinal signs. It's you, Aries, Libra, and Cancers are cardinal signs. Cardinal signs are initiators. You all are receiving signs. You and Cancers are receiver signs. That's your polarity sign. Y'all are receivers by default. I'm talking to men and women, Capricorns. And so by default, but that's divine feminine energy. That's a very powerful energy when you know how to use it. When you take the time to create a boundary. Remember, you all are ruled by Saturn, right, which is a very serious planet. And you tell people, I need time to process my thinking, right? I need time to process my thought. I'll get back to you. Let me get time to process my thoughts. I'll get back to you. See how this person right here, this could be a man or woman, sitting on their throne. I got a lot of time. I got to process my thoughts. I'm not running away from anything. I got a lot to think about. Let me get some fresh air. You're making use of all the elements. I need time to process my thoughts. Something is not one person's way or the highway. I need to process my thoughts. That's in a job interview, because remember, you know your self-worth. It's a job interview, love situation, no matter what part of your life. Remember, I need time to process my thoughts. A lot of your wishes are being fulfilled simply because you're speaking up. Simply because you're saying, I need some fresh air. I need to think for myself. A lot more people are going to respect you when you balance it out. So it's time to flourish. It is time to flourish. There you go. It's time to flourish. So that's what's happening here. So the opposite of flourish is to die or to wither, right? So you're not trying to wither. You're not trying to die out, right? You're not trying to throw yourself back into a karmic cycle, right? You're not trying to throw yourself back into last year. It's a whole new you. Matter of fact, we have a new moon on the same day as the solar eclipse on the 29th in Aries. And so this is Aries rules first house. First house is about personality, temperament, appearance, self-image, first impression, self-awareness, outlook on life. And so find out what your zodiac sign is in your first house. And so source is saying, and then go to Google and type in, you know, like, or just pull your birth chart. Find out what your first house is. Find out what your first house is, right? But it's time for you to flourish. You're a leader. I see somebody being in a leadership position. Now you're going to start asking, not only just in title in leadership position, I'm talking about in authority. So the next time you go for a job interview, you're going to ask, you know, about what how much, you know, authority you have, not just a title. Oh, okay, I'll just accept the first position I get. No, how much flexibility do I have? A lot of your wishes are about to become, because this number 3 right here is about talking. You're going to be talking more authoritatively, not because you feel like you're, you know, under duress, so it comes across as aggressive and not as assertive. This lets me know that someone is a prayer warrior. You're getting some fresh air so you can talk to source. This lets me know that you come from a line of prayer warriors. You're getting out of the house, get some fresh air by yourself so that you can pray. Even after you've had a meeting at work and you say, okay, I need to go get some fresh air, grab a bottle of water because you don't want to get dehydrated, and I need to go pray about some things, right? Because you've been sacrificed and you've made a lot of sacrifices. I'm talking to you wherever Capricorn is in your birth chart, and this 1 and 2 is 3, right? 1 and 2 is 3. 3 looks like lips. And so this is where, this is also hidden in your, what's hidden in here is your psychic abilities, right? What's hidden in this hangman is your psychic abilities. A lot of sacrifices have been made. And so source is saying you have psychic abilities. And so you know when people are in danger, you know when people are lying to you, you know when people are, being narcissistic, you know when people are scared, you know when people are being aggressive, when they're being bullies towards you. Like, you pick up on energy, you pick up on people's fire. You know when people are inspiring you, when they're in other words, when people are making the proper use of their fire, if they're using their fire for good or they're using their fire for evil. You know when people are praying on you or praying for you. Okay, at this point you do know. Okay, at this point you know. There's no way you don't know at this point. So it's time to flourish. It's time to flourish. And that's how you're going to get a lot of your needs met. So here we have the 4 of Wands here. So somebody know who is responsible for bullying energies. Karmic couples who are responsible for bullying energies. So I see, looking at your cards here, you're waking up from some nightmares. You're definitely waking up from some nightmares. This is the 9 of Swords, and you're starting to see why people don't talk to people. You're starting to see why people don't talk to people. Yeah, here we have the 5 of Pentacles. And why some emotional wounding has been caused. And why people have been made to feel worthless. Yeah, things are starting to make sense to you. That's why somebody is starting to, why you felt worthless, why you felt left out of things, why other people are made to feel what motivates people. Some people are just bullies. And why people don't want to be around certain energies, why people don't want to be around bullying spirits, why some people, choose to not be around. This again is about self-worth, right? Not everybody feels worthless when they are not invited to things. Some people do, they want to be a part of certain things, and some people actually feel better when they're not invited to things. So you just have to know who you are, but you are a leader, and that's what Source is trying to tell you. This is about self-worth. So something is definitely, recognizing that you have made a lot of self-sacrifices, so you shouldn't have to feel worthless at this stage. You shouldn't have to feel. That's why a lot of your wishes are being fulfilled. It's like a switch went off on somebody. A lot of times it's really about the company that you keep. If you're around energies who are like please leave my name off the list. I actually feel better being around people who know how to use their fire properly. When you're around people who know how to use their fire properly, they know when to step out and go get some fresh air. When they're around people who talk to people any kind of way, that Eight of Swords energy, right? That Eight of Swords, that people just talk to people any old kind of way. You can tell when people be using abusive language to people, when they, don't have a problem talking about how people look and, teasing people and being shady and mean-spirited, and they think everything is funny, being, all of this kind of stuff, versus people who are mature. People who are mature. Somebody's about to feel like you hit the jackpot. A lot of your wishes are being fulfilled. I'm telling you, a lot of your wishes are being fulfilled. So now people are starting to see why who is responsible for you feeling a certain way about yourself, and why other people have felt a certain way about themselves, as well. So yeah, you're creating something new here. You're creating something new here. You're protecting something. You're learning how to protect your emotions, learning how to protect yourselves, right? Yeah. You have an innate spiritual understanding of why some energies are the way that they are. And, but you're about to end something. You're about to end something. You're about to end something so that you can thrive. Only you know what you're about to end, but something in you is ending so that you can start this new chapter of your life, this new beginning with self. This new beginning with self. Yeah. Yeah. Your ancestors have been around you the entire time. Somebody is really kind of sort of tired of being blindsided by energies, but your ancestors have been talking to you for a long time about how love should not hurt. People should not be hurting you who say they love you, Yeah. So somebody's about to leave a circus behind. Yeah. Somebody feels changed, liberated, and free. Somebody feels changed, liberated, and free. And so you're finally getting some rest. Yep, you finally are getting some rest. Finally are getting some rest. So this is good. This is really, really good. Again, Venus is about self-love and knowing your self-worth. Mercury really is about, it's a messenger planet. It's the knowledge and learning, how we all communicate with each other, right? Really how we communicate, how we send and receive messages to each other. That's really what really what it boils down to. It's the communication, intellect, how we rationalize skills in communicating. Some people send out the message that hurt people. They're not even trying to heal. They just, well, that's just how I am. I'm just keeping it real. That's their reality. They're not even trying to heal. They just spewing hatred and hurt. Just continuing to hurt, talking about they love people, just hurting people. And so sources say you don't have to sit around and continue to be hurt. Close out the cycle, move on. Close out the cycle and move on. So yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of air. Somebody could be really, really overthinking something, but I feel like at some point you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna stop overthinking something and you're gonna take action. You're going to take action. You've made way too many sacrifices in every aspect of your life to to continue hurting or being on the receiving end of a lot of hurt in your personal and your professional life, Capricorn. So I definitely feel like it is time to flourish, or you do just wither out. You just kind of sort of go into a zombified state. Yeah, that's how you see people feel like you see people feel like you see it. You feel like some people had a whole new lease on life. And you're like, wow. Like if you look on social media, like a lot of people think, oh, that person must have some Botox, or they must have tried whatever the new like the weight loss thing, whatever it is people got going on. A lot of people, it's like a changing of circles. Like some people change, I mean, it could be, some people could afford it, but like sometimes it's like a changing of circle of being around energies. This is literally being around different energies. People getting out more, they around more positive, high vibrating energies, people who know how to use their element properly. They're not around a bunch of negativity and shady energies, hurt people who hurt people. They just change their circle of energies, right? They're able to finally get some rest. finally able to get some rest. Yep. Yep. So I do see, you'll be praying for some people's strength, though. You'll be praying for some people's strength. 2 karmics, strength. All right, you'll be praying for some people's strength in a very meek way. You'll be praying for some people's strength. Yeah, but you'll be definitely cutting them off. Yeah, you'll be praying for some people's strength, but you'll be cutting them off. Yeah. And leaving them behind. Yeah. You'll be leaving them behind, leaving them in the past. Yeah. Because again, you have psychic abilities, right? You have psychic abilities, and you have psychic abilities, and you already know that these energies, like I said before, have tried to restrict you. Other people have psychic abilities. They know that they've tried to restrict them as well. This right here have tried to restrict them in terms of like entrap them. Maybe have tried to have people arrested, try to have people restrained, like mentally restrained by saying that people just all kinds of stuff. Have tried to have 2 people restricted, restrained. I mean, just the works. Done the absolute most in the past. So, yeah. So a lot of stuff. And these are karmics. Like I said, karmics. Just staying in the loop of just hurt people who hurt people. So yeah, you're moving on from something. So anyway, there's the 8 again. Yeah. So I feel like somebody's going to be putting in, like I said, 8 hours of just investment, like investing in yourselves. Yeah, 8 hours just of investing in yourselves. Just working, right? Being very, very meticulous. Like shining a light on something and creating something. Yeah. Shining a light on creating something, right? But seeing something from a higher frequency. This is year 9. This is Sagittarius. We're not talking about any Sagittarius that you know. So you could have Sagittarius in your birth chart, but the moon is going to be moving into Sagittarius, waning gibbous moon in Sagittarius before it moves into the last quarter moon in your sign on the 22nd, which is Saturday. Yep. But that's what I'm saying for you. So this is where you really, really want to count your blessings. This is where you want to vibrate higher. You want to flush out all of the negative thoughts from the past and what you assumed, and hopping on a bandwagon and being around hurt people who hurt other people from your past, and not knowing and being, sacrificing energies and being around those types of spirits who don't have a problem sacrificing and wanting, something just around money, and, assuming people doing stuff behind closed doors just for their wish fulfillment and dragging you into some mess. And whether it was behind closed doors for at work, and you not knowing what was going on and putting you in these precarious positions, just all kinds of just mess that you may not even know what you were involved in. So it's just saying, now that you know better, it's time to do better. That's why it's time to flourish. Time to flourish. Time to flourish. That's why you don't want to sit with this, oh my God, I didn't know, I had no idea. You sit in that too long. Sources saying you're going to time wasting by. So you're just wasting time. Wasting time. So yeah, so sources saying you're a prayer warrior. So get to praying about something. Get to praying. Fruits of your labor. That's right. So rich gain is here. Rich gain is here. Somebody is a rich and prayer warrior. Somebody is grossly overthinking something. Grossly overthinking something. So public face. So it's okay to be yourself. Follow your heart. Become who you want to be. Earn a reputation. Somebody is overthinking something. There's another way of communicating through journaling. Through journaling. Independence. Don't depend on others. Manage money yourself. That's what Source has been trying to tell somebody, to manage your own money. Expression. Express yourself. Express your creative self. Yep. Looking, seek, and you will find. Have an eye for beauty and uncover hidden charms. Yeah, somebody is overthinking something. You're incredibly smart, but I feel like somebody possibly does a little bit too much talking to others about like maybe your hopes and dreams and giving other people ideas of like what to do with you, you know, instead of just kind of sort of, you know, giving it to source and just having people, like I said, to you guys' credit, source will actually send the people to you, because you all are receivers by default. So the more you give to source and say, okay, source, thank you for sending this, that, and the other to me. And then through meditation, source will send those energies to you. You'd be surprised at how source will send energies to you. And how source will send it to you. Source will send it to you on social media. You're like, oh, okay, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay, I was looking for a way to write a book. I was looking for, you know, something, a download or something in the video. I was looking for such and such and such and such. It came out in the video. It came out on Instagram. It came out on TikTok. It came out on this. It came out on that. That's exactly what that was the answer I was looking for. I didn't have to spend a dime. The answer was right there. So many choices. So opportunities around. When you are in a dilemma, all roads lead to Rome. Look at all of your options, right? But still, some people are still looking for the answers in the people you can touch, like the physical existence of things. And sources, like we're in an information age. A lot of resources are right there online. A lot of free resources are online. And sources like that's only part of the learning part with Mercury. That's part of you slowing down and learning. That's Mercury. So that's why I'm trying to tie in the planetary alignments. When you slow down, and that's part of learning. That's part of the messages. Mercury is the messenger planet. So you're leaving that past way of being behind, where I got to reach out to this friend and this family member and this and this and this one. When so it's like it's right there on social media. Literally right there. This is the proper use of social media. So you can leave behind hurt people who hurt other people. And by saying that they love them, you can pull out that sword, and they're gonna be asking why. Why you cut me? Why you cut me off? Why are you not talking to me anymore? Because you say you love people, but you steadily sticking a sword in their back. You steadily hurting people. And I'm sitting here listening to you hurt me and hurt them, but you say you love people. So whatever you wish. So when you lessen the importance of problems and suffering, life will swing back into balance. Stop the struggle and feel peace. The world responds to you. Yeah, so forge a new path. When you make new choices, you create new results. Let go of old patterns and embrace the power of possibility. You are fully supported. Heart path. And this is what air is. It connects us with the heart chakra. When you're listening to other sides, it's two sides of the sword. When you're listening to someone who has truly forgiven people who have hurt them, you hear their side, and there's no hatred, none of that. There's true forgiveness and love, and they're speaking highly of energies, and you hear somebody else, how they see them, and it's all hurt and bitterness and anger. That energy they're still in a karmic cycle with something, and you're just like, oh my God. Somebody is still harboring some kind. You're sitting there listening to you right in the middle of something. And so it's just like, man, what in the world is this? So it's not worth pursuing a path without passion. This road will only lead you to uncertainty and frustration. So follow your heart and you can't go wrong. And that's what Source is trying to help somebody to understand. Is like when you're in the middle of something and it's causing you a nightmare, it's only cutting into your money. It cuts into your inspiration. It's cutting into your creativity. It's literally cutting into your 9 of cups. To see how this person is jumping out of a treasure chest, it's cutting into your 9 of cups. And you trying to create something. So Source is saying, no, you can't pour from an empty cup. You're trying to create something. You're trying to create something in a safe environment where you don't feel like you left out of everything, because you trying to find out, you working for something and you just feeling worthless as you're doing all of this stuff. Because energies can't let go of something in the past and has nothing to do with you. So take only what resonates with you. This could apply to your workplace or your personal or your professional life. This could be your friends that's have you in the middle of friendships. Whatever it is, take it, make it whatever you need it to be. Put it wherever you need it to be, but let it go. Let something go. Let go of negative people and toxic relief. Your time on earth is precious. Invest it wisely and be mindful of who you spend time with. You got some things you trying to do. You got some things that you are trying to do for you. And if you feel like you got to be running away from some stuff to get some fresh air, so you got to learn how to see things from a higher frequency. This is a temperance card. You got to resolve something within yourself of overthinking. That could be a karmic cycle within somebody, within you, that you take too long to process pain, like the pain of just overthinking. Like you could be a person who that could be something that's generational for you, that you give loved ones too many chances you sit there and just give loved ones way too many chances you sit in the middle of a bunch of hurt. And that's a very real thing. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, you have loved ones who's like, I know I'm an overgiver and just be tired, having all kinds of ailments and hurts and, not getting enough rest and getting enough sleep and wondering why nobody is coming to your aid, because we don't have the power to save each other. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Sitting there with bottles and bottles of medication, stressed out. You need a medication to wake up, a medication to go to sleep, a medication for this ailment, a medication for that ailment, and people taking you to the hospital for this and a hospital for that, and getting a check for this and a check for that, but nobody is pulling back the stress from you that they're the ones that's causing. So it's just saying you're gonna have to snatch a plug out the wall for real and say, nope, unapologetically, I'm not here to listen to everybody's problems. Be mad if you want to. Be mad if you want to. It's time to flourish. It's time for you to flourish. I'm done with the foolishness. I'm done with the foolishness. And that's what I see you doing. Because all these hurt people that's hurting other people are sending people to an early grave, and all they got for this is they'll show up for a funeral. Will show up for a funeral and be like this, tambourines in hand, will show up for a funeral and be slow singing and all of this other stuff. And, oh, that's so awful. You never hear any of these energies say that they the reason for they causing all of this pain in people's lives, because they won't stop arguing, won't stop to forgive. You just won't. If you feel like you can't forgive, you can't come out of a karmic cycle, cut people off and move on with your life. Just cut people off and move on with your life. Forgive yourself and say, you know what? Okay, Source, just forgive yourself and just move on. And that's what Source is trying to tell you. Can't be friends with somebody anymore? Forgive yourself and move on. Can't be friends? Can't forgive a family member or whatever? Forgive yourself and move on. Forgive yourself and move on. Don't feel like you're at a place of apologizing to somebody? Forgive yourself and move on. Move on. Move on. Close out the cycle and move on. You're not getting an apology from somebody else. Forgive yourself and move on. Life is too precious. It is too short. That manager is showing you that they're not going to give you a raise and they telling you all kinds of stories. Forgive yourself for staying on the job for too long. Don't sit there and become a problem in the workplace. Start looking for something else and move on. Move on. That's what this moon in Scorpio is about. Do not sit there and just become a toxic in that muddied water. Move on. Aim higher. That's what the moon in Sagittarius is about. Count your blessings and move on. That's what I have for you all. But take control. You are a leader. Don't just sit there like this is just how I'm built. This is just being stubborn. So it's like number 9, the situation. 5 and 4 is 9. In the situation, it's time to flourish. Time to flourish. Leave the circus behind and move on. All right? Bye.